There's a scene in an Indiana Jones movie where Indy has to cross an abyss. He looks out, and there's nothing but a drop. But he takes a step anyway, and a stone bridge, invisible until his foot touches it, appears beneath him. That's exactly what it feels like when your curiosity is running at high learning rate. You don't see the connection yet. You just have this itch to keep moving. This week I stepped into the ether with two very different thinkers. Peter Diamandis, the high-tech exponential thinker, and Euvie Ivanova, the Earth Mother, formerly of Future Thinkers podcast. Both futurists, their universes apart. One is talking about the, quote, frozen model, quote, of the brain and large language models. The other is talking about the, quote, self-image, quote, and the emotional habit of joy. But as I read them, a bridge appeared. Diamandis dropped into my mailbox about how curiosity is the dial for your brain's learning rate. If you stop being surprised, your neural weights freeze. You become a static system in a world that's updating every second. Now this next part is where it gets interesting. How did I get from amazing, interesting ideas as usual from Peter to, but wait, then there's Ivanova. That's the thing about these connecting events. When they're happening, they feel so completely normal. Only afterwards do I wonder at how a path that didn't exist became the path. And by that time, I'm amazed at the experience and don't remember the exact steps. I hadn't thought about Ivanova's works in years, but suddenly, there she is, writing about how a 3-year-old learns Russian just by being happy and confident. Now, why did my brain reach across years of data at just such a moment to grab her post and watch it line up with Diamandis' email? Why did that synapse fire now? This is a quantum part of the story. In physics, a particle exists in multiple states till it's observed. In your brain, information exists in a flux, a cloud of maybe relevant data until curiosity observes it. Lately, this happens, I wouldn't say frequently, but often, it seems. When these two ideas connected, it wasn't planned research on my part, and it wasn't a stumble, unless it was one of those happy stumbles I've had in music composition, graphics, and video editing, and the occasional conversation where the mistake is actually better than the intended. Is this some high-speed pattern matching event? I didn't know it consciously, but did my mind recognize that Diamandis' biological RLHF, which is reinforcement learning from human feedback, is the exact same thing as Ivanova's joy of the habit? One provides a hardware manual, how the dopamine rewards the neurons, and the other provides a software interface, how your self-image allows you to enjoy the process. They were describing exactly the same world through two completely different lenses. And for a split second, I wasn't just reading, I was participating in the bridge building. It's interesting that, minus curiosity, they both describe a slide into what Diamandis calls a frozen model. On the one hand, that rush you feel when those invisible stones appear, that's not survival, not just a good idea. Maybe that's a neurochemical reward for unfreezing your model. Recognize a connection between two disconnected ideas, and maybe you're performing a fine-tuning pass on your whole life. You're telling your 86 billion neurons, we aren't done yet. The world isn't set in stone. Update the parameters. The ether isn't empty. It's full of invisible bridges. You just have to be willing and ready to be curious enough to step into the abyss. So my question isn't just, what are you learning? It's, what are you mashing together? Things that have no business being in the same room. An exponential newsletter and an Earth Mother's musings. A geometry theorem and a screenplay? A melody and a word? Step out. See if the stones appear. Maybe I'll see you in the ether.